Good evening to all of you. We have discussed earlier three categories of the solution. Two of them they are widely discussed, one not discussed. One, the solution containing clearly miscible liquids. Another one, solution containing partially miscible liquids. And third category, that is clearly immiscible liquids. We have not discussed the third category in context with the vapor pressure, boiling or distillation, but all are related to the third category, that is clearly immiscible liquids. That is in your syllabus. It is distribution law, Nernst distribution law. As it is obvious from the figure that there are two colors, so separated by a distinct boundary, they represents the two liquids which are clearly immiscible with each other. One is phase A, another is the phase B, or solvent A and solvent B. A solute X is there, it distributes or it dissolves in both of these, or that is being added to such a heterogeneous system, it dissolves in both of the solvents, in solvent A as well as in solvent B. Solubility differs. It may be more soluble in one of the solvent, it may be less soluble in the another solvent. So the solute distributes itself between the two phases as per its solubility in the concerned phases. The two liquids, they are in static equilibrium, means none of the molecule from the one solvent it is crossing to the another side, but the two liquids are in dynamic equilibrium with respect to the X. Why dynamic equilibrium? Because the solute, it is migrating from one side to the another side as per its solubility. Wherever it is more soluble, it will pass to that side. Wherever it is less soluble, it will pass less toward that side. So there is a dynamic equilibrium after some time that is being achieved. That number of molecules crossing from one side to the another side, they are equal. So the system becomes in equilibrium with each other. Nernst said that for such a system, concentration of the solute in solvent A divided by concentration of the solute in solvent B is equal to constant at a particular temperature. So that is the Nernst distribution law. For Nernst distribution law, K value remains constant provided the solutions taken they are dilute one. Temperature, if it remains constant, and the molecular state of the solute should not change in any of the solvent. What is meant by the molecular state? Molecular state means it shouldn't undergo association or dissociation in any of the solvent. What is meant by association or dissociation? Whenever molecule associates, they form dimer or trimer, or the molecule dissociate. For example, sodium chloride dissolved in the water, then NaCl, it will form the ions Na positive and Cl negative in the water. So that is the dissociation. So Nernst law is only applicable to the same molecular state of the solute. It should not undergo association or dissociation. If it undergoes association and dissociation, then the formula concerned regarding the Nernst law, it changes as per the degree of association or degree of dissociation. Let us see a small video that is related with the Nernst distribution law. So see here, this is CCl4 that is being taken in the flask. To the CCl4, I will add some water. So the two phases, now they are distinct. So one phase is aqueous phase and another phase is the CCl4. CCl4 being more heavy, it is present at the bottom, and aqueous layer, it is in the upper side. If I add iodine to this solution, then iodine will dissolve itself in the water as well as it will dissolve itself in the CCl4. Iodine, it is highly soluble in CCl4, so it mostly dissolve in the bottom layer, but aqueous layer remains colorless because very less iodine that dissolves in the water. So see here, the lower part it is colored one because iodine has distributed itself in the CCl4 and it is very less that is present in the upper layer. No sign of the iodine yet clear that iodine is present in the upper layer, but if you will keep it for some time and check later on, then iodine will also pass to the aqueous side. I have placed another bottle just like this way, and you will see that in that bottle which is in front of you now, that upper portion has got tarnished. This portion has got tarnished, so that was colorless, but some of the iodine it has been passed through the aqueous layer also. So iodine it distributes itself between the two layers. So that is the related with the Nernst distribution law. So concentration of iodine in water divided by concentration of iodine in CCl4, that will be a constant. It is termed as the distribution coefficient. It is termed as the partition coefficient. Partitions mean the solute it is partitioning itself between the two phases. That is why partition coefficient, or it is distribution coefficient because the solute is distributing itself between the two phases. Next one is thermodynamic derivation of the Nernst distribution law. To study this, we will take the help of this equation, that is chemical potential. So the two phases, as here it is phase A and phase B, and the solute it is distributing itself between the two phases. For this, the chemical potential of the solute in phase A, it is written as mu A is equal to mu naught A plus RT ln AA. That is the activity of the solute in the phase A. Activity means what? It is the concentration term. Activity is similar to the concentration. In the same manner, another equation that can be written as mu B is equal to mu naught B plus RT ln AV. So that is the chemical potential of the solute in the phase B. Since the two liquids are in equilibrium, as earlier said that the two liquids are in equilibrium static, but they are in dynamic equilibrium with respect to the solute. So chemical potential of the solute in one solvent will be equal to the chemical potential of the solute in the another solvent. So that is why I have written here mu B is equal to mu A. So substituting the values here and then separating the chemical potential in pure state to the one side and activity terms to the another side, we will get this equation mu naught B minus mu naught A is equal to RT ln activity A side divided by activity B side. So migrating this RT term to the this side. Now what is this? It is chemical potential of the solute in the pure state. So it will be constant. Chemical potential of solute in the pure state in the phase A, it will be constant. R is gas constant. Temperature is constant at a particular temperature. So whole of the term is constant. This means logarithmic ratio of the activities, it will be equal to the constant. What are the activities? Activities are the concentration. So it is C1 divided by C2, or concentration in phase A divided by concentration in phase B, that is equal to constant. So that is the Nernst distribution law. It's the derivation of the Nernst distribution law based upon the chemical potentials. Now let us see how the formula for the Nernst distribution law changes whenever there is association or dissociation of the solute in one of the phase. So here in one phase A, X remains X, but in another phase some of the molecules of the X, they associate to form the associated molecule XN. 2 molecule or 3 molecule, they are associating to give the associated molecule. तो फेज ए में जो है वो मॉलिक्यूलर स्टेट एक्स की एक्स रही, लेकिन फेज बी में एक्स जो है कुछ एक मॉलिक्यूल उसके एसोसिएट होके किसमें चेंज हो गए, एक्स एन में. टोटल मॉलिक्यूल चेंज नहीं हुए हैं, तो इसमें इसकी मॉलिक्यूलर स्टेट एक्स भी है और इसमें इसकी मॉलिक्यूलर स्टेट क्या आ गई, एक्स एन भी आ गई. लेकिन अनएसोसिएटेड और एसोसिएटेड मॉलिक्यूल के बीच में क्या रहेगा, इक्विलिब्रियम होगा. So there is a equilibrium between the associated and unassociated molecule. जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन लॉ है या नर्नस्ट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन लॉ वो सेम मॉलिक्यूलर स्टेट के साथ अटैच होता है. यानी यहां मॉलिक्यूलर स्टेट एक्स है तो वो उसी कंसंट्रेशन को कोरोस्पोंड करेगा जो कंसंट्रेशन एक्स की यहां पर होगी, वो एक्स एन के साथ लिंक्ड नहीं है. सो लेट अस ट्राई टू एलैबोरेट हियर. सो इन फेज 1 the molecular state is X, in phase 2 again molecular state is X, but in phase 2 some of the molecule they are going to form associated molecule XN. So let us have some calculations here. Suppose concentration of X solute in phase 1 that is equal to C1, total concentration of solute in phase 2 that is taken equal to C2. Total means what? Total means it is equal to concentration of unassociated as well as associated molecule. Now let us separate these C2 by the term of associated and unassociated molecule. Let alpha be the degree of association. Then concentration of the associated molecule will be C2 multiplied by the alpha. What is alpha? Alpha is degree. Degree means it is percentage. 40%, 50% associated, 60% associated. So when that percentage is multiplied by the total concentration, so that gives the concentration of associated molecule. If you make it less from 100, if it is taken as fraction, it can be made less from the 1, or if it is taken as percentage, then it should be made less by the 100. So 1 minus alpha gives the fraction of unassociated molecule, and when you will multiply it by the C2, then it is going to give the concentration of unassociated molecule. As earlier said, that Nernst distribution law is applicable to the similar molecular state. So molecular state in the phase 1 it is X and concentration is C1, and in the second phase the concentration of unassociated similar molecular state, concentration of that part is C2 into 1 minus alpha. So applying the Nernst law, you will get C1 concentration in 1 and C2 into 1 minus alpha, that is the unassociated part. So ratio of these two will be equal to constant. It is little bit modified as this equation is there for the second phase, that some of the molecule they are associating. So there is a equilibrium between the associated and unassociated molecule. Applying the law of equilibrium, so it is the product concentration. So product is the concentration of Xn, that is the product. So concentration of associated molecule, that is C2 into alpha, as it is being calculated already here, C2 into alpha, divided by it is concentration of the reactants. So concentration of the reactant is X. X is what? Unassociated. So as earlier said, C2 into 1 minus alpha is unassociated. So C2 into 1 minus alpha, what it is, raised to power equal to number of moles. So raised to power n. Raised to power n. This is equal to the equilibrium constant. So I am writing only it as a constant. So simplifying it, taking nth power on the both side. So from the downward side n goes, but upper side it becomes the 1 by n power, that's equal to constant. So this is equation 2, and here equation 1 that I have written for the Nernst distribution law. The denominator contains C2 into 1 minus alpha. Here again denominator contains C2 into 1 minus alpha. So eliminating it, you will get from 1 and 2, it is C1 divided by C2 into alpha raised to power 1 by n, that is equal to constant. So that is the Nernst distribution law. Whenever there is a association between the molecule is there in one of the solvent. Case 2, whenever there is a dissociation. As earlier said that the Nernst distribution law, it is applicable to the similar molecular state. So here in the phase 1 the molecular state is X, but in phase 2 it is X, as well as in phase 2 X is going to change into the ions, dissociating. It is dissociating into Y plus Z. So again I am applying the same. Suppose C1 is the concentration of the solute in phase 1. So C1 is the concentration here written. And again suppose alpha is the degree of dissociation. Then how much part is dissociated, that is alpha. 1 minus alpha is that part which is undissociated. Multiplying it by the concentration, that gives the part C2 into 1 minus alpha. So that ratio is equal to constant. So that is the Nernst distribution law, which changes as per the association or dissociation.